Okay. Okay, stream seems to be okay. Mic check, mic check. Okay, we're working. Yeah, the other day when I did this in between streams, I came on and it was acting like I'd been on for 2 hours. I'm like, I just restarted. This one started out with, I'm at 37 seconds. This, I'm not going to really have the stream running. I won't be able to see it. On Xbox, it doesn't let me see a chat, so I will not have a chat. And but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut this down, and then I'm going to get Ancient Aliens going. Now, if I get hit with a copyright strike because my mic is picking this up, it'll be the last time I do it. But so just bear with me here. What I got to do is I got to find a volume because this mic is pretty good about not picking up what's not right in front of it. So I just got to. Okay, on demand. The stream might suffer and I won't be able to tell. Again, I'll try and keep it. Again, it'll take me a few days to notice this, but okay. Now it's either going to be Ancient Aliens Special Edition or Ancient Aliens. I'm going to try Ancient Aliens first. And the Minecraft play is going to be secondary because there's a lot of stuff I got to wait for. Yeah, okay, top 10 alien craft. Give me a minute. I'm going to unplug the mic and mess with this. What they're talking about is they're going to go over the top 10 things that might actually be, according to the ancient astronauts, uh, real craft. Some of these I'll be able to talk about a little bit more. Some of them I might actually, because there might be a few of them that I either don't remember or don't know about, and I'll have to listen to them a little bit. Okay, right now they're talking about the Flying V. New York, 1982. I think it's Kent, New York. This was something that was reported multiple times in the area by multiple people. If I keep coughing, I'm gonna have to stop. New York Times picked this up. And this was back in the 80s. And I don't know, they said that it was also seen in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I don't know if they're talking about back in the 80s or if they're talking about the Phoenix Lights, which I believe was like in the 90s, maybe around 97. I can't be any more precise than that. Yeah, they're talking about Phoenix Lights because they just flashed the governor. One thing I want to throw out for this, they're going to be doing that UFO hearing next week, and I'm going to try and like stream a reaction where I'll kind of be chatting about it. I can't stream it, even if I had. Like, even if I was near my computer and I could do it real easy, I can't stream that because I do not want my channel, even though it's, because I've seen this before, where people who are far more sophisticated than me, they stream something that is like a congressional hearing or C-SPAN, something that they're supposed to have rights to, and they end up getting hit with a copyright strike by like one of the news channels. And, so it'll be like this as long as I don't. My voice is fucking up. If I don't get a copyright strike from this one, if everything's kosher, then I will do the same thing if I'm able when they're doing that, and I will chat. I'll have a game going, but again, when I do this, the focus will be more on paying attention to what they're doing and not the game. I'll get as much of the game done. Like when they go, like when this thing goes to a commercial break, I'll either chat to you about the game or the UFOs. But if I'm not real busy chatting during a commercial, then I can get some of the stuff done on the commercials. But yeah, they got that coming up. And the one thing I did, and I just thought about it, and it's completely unrelated, but I was thinking about some other stuff, and I remembered when Congress, and they didn't do, as far as I know, they didn't do it on purpose, but they ended up giving immunity to the criminals that broke the law during the Iran-Contra affair. And what happened was, I tweeted out that Tim Burchett, he's a representative from Tennessee, and if I got the name wrong, I apologize, but it's Tim, and Burchett is at least in the ballpark of what his last name is. And I tweeted him, the Democrats, and I said, hey, and you know, and MSNBC, but I go, and everybody that's going to be on your committee. I go, you guys are having that hearing, and I go, I have heard from various reporters, some of them are very, very credible, like Ross Coulthart, that you guys don't have the security clearance for that hearing. And I go, the security clearances are basically set up by law. And if they're set up by an executive order has the weight of law. And I go, you guys are a co-equal branch of government. And I go, I'm not making a statement here. I go, I'm asking, can't you guys like have the whole House vote to give immunity to the people you have coming in? And for you guys to hear it, you know, basically to have it in the committee, because I go, you know, because I'm sitting there thinking, well, they have a definite if they're right, and they are pretty sure that he said, he goes, look, I don't know if we could prove it in a court of law, but he goes, we are positive that we're being lied to by the Pentagon, by the military, by the executive branch. We're positive that they are hiding stuff from us that they're supposed to be giving us. I go, can't you guys just grant immunity so you can get that out in the open? So you can find out if they're hiding stuff from you. I go, you guys are a co-equal branch. I go, that seems like something you should be able to do. I go, I don't know, but I go, that just seems something like you should explore it. And I'm waiting to see what happens, but I don't know. And here's the thing, I haven't checked yet, but I made a promise to certain, whether it's human or something else, because I did one of these, and I think it was I think it was on a Saturday, and I uploaded them today because there were like 3 streams for that day, because I did a Diablo stream, and then when I got done with the Diablo stream, I did a Minecraft stream. Like, well, as soon as I did this, I started talking about, I think, something that had happened on, it was either Skinwalker or Beyond Skinwalker. And I made the comment that, hey, they were talking about underground. As soon as I started talking about underground bases, it had been raining. It was storming bad. I mean, like that. It started, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I shut everything off just to protect it from the storm a little bit. And then almost immediately after I shut down, the storm stopped and just went back to a real gentle rain. And, this is the one thing I wish they'd do. I wish you could breed these skeleton horses. If there is, find this video in a couple weeks when I have it uploaded onto YouTube and tell me how to do it. But I really wish you could breed them so you could get better skeleton horses. Because most of them are shit. And I'm looking for a sheep. I want to make a bed. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Oh, he's gonna snuff it too. Usually, my experience with this game is when there's something you want and you're looking for it, you'll never see it. This one here, I was actually, usually what will happen is that one time you're looking for a sheep or you're looking for an Enderman or something like that, you'll never see one. You just will never see one. Oh, I got some in there. Oh, well. But, I sort of mentioned that. So that is something, and that Timber Chet, he really cracks me up. I might have to take out some of those leaves. He really cracks me up because, the one and I mentioned this before, this is not going to go away, not until I get something better. He was asked, because he basically said, he goes, well, I've seen classified videos that you can't see. And he goes, these things are just so far beyond us, it ain't even funny. And somebody asked me, they go, well, couldn't it be Russia or China? And the one he did, this thing should have went viral, and it didn't. And he was kind of commenting on how like the mainstream news is not picking this up. But he said, come on, with Putin's ego, if he had one of these, he would have landed it on the White House lawn. He'd gotten out bare chested and wrestled the president and drove away. And he goes, if China had this, he goes, they would be in America stomping on us right now. But then another interview, and he was a little more grounded, but he said, look, if Russia had these things, there's absolutely no way that they would be tripping their way through Ukraine, screwing up day after day after day. He goes, they would have won Ukraine in the first couple days, if not the first couple days, and if not that, at least the first couple weeks. He goes, it just wouldn't have taken that long. He goes, these things are clearly not Russia, and he goes, they're clearly not China because they're not kicking our ass. He goes, I can't begin to tell you. And then they go, I've heard some of the military people say that if these things really meant us harm, they could turn us into He goes, yeah. He goes, if these things meant us harm, we'd be done. He goes, there's nothing we could do to stop them, was his opinion. And, but he's been very vocal on this. And the one thing I really liked was, and I talked about this in the last stream, so if you're here from that, I do apologize. But he made the comment that, he absolutely made the comment that if, because somebody commented him that the Pentagon was more than willing to take this up and do a study and get them a report. And he goes, yeah. Pentagon's been studying this for like 5 decades or more, and he goes, they've been doing this for 50, 60, 70 years now, and he goes, they've studied it enough. And he goes, and here's the thing, he goes, the Pentagon has no interest in telling us the truth. He goes, and he goes, I'm pretty sure they have been lying to us, and I am pretty sure they have been blocking us. He goes, that's obstruction of Congress, because I'm pretty sure they have been blocking us from getting to the truth. And he goes, these should be considered criminal acts by the Pentagon and other branches of, there's stuff that they're withholding from us. And he goes, it should be considered a crime for them to come in and lie to us or hide stuff from us when we're asking them direct questions. And he goes, he goes, I don't know if we can prove it, but he goes, we are positive that we were all set to have people come in and testify to us, and they blocked it. These people wouldn't come in and talk to us because of what the Pentagon did. They strong-armed them. He goes, we've had these cases where pilots, they report this stuff. Well, then the next thing you know, they're grounded, they're basically taken. And he goes, they call it a debrief, but he goes, these guys are interrogated for like 18 hours. It can end up as a black mark on their thing. He goes, these pilots that are coming forward, he goes, they're heroes. They're absolute heroes, because he goes, they're risking their career and all this other stuff to tell us the truth. And he goes, we need to really start listening to them. Okay, we got... I think I got all these right. I had an issue where I built these roads and they didn't all line up, and I went through and fixed them. So I think I might be wrong if I'm wasting my time here. But these here are right. Some of these may fall down into the... If I wasn't trying to BS here, I would go into the nether. I would go into the nether and get myself another pair of wings. I got to do that one way or another anyways. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I don't know what's going to happen, but he just basically said, he goes, yeah, the Pentagon, they smell. And this is shit you usually don't hear these guys say until they're like out of office or they're a lame duck. Some of them are brave enough, they'll say it before they actually get out of office when they're a lame duck. But usually they're a lot more polite. They're a lot more professional. But he goes, yeah, he goes, the Pentagon can smell money. That's what they smell. He goes, They're sitting there. They know the public opinion on this. The public wants answers, and he goes, they are more than willing to, let us write them a check. They will look into this. They will write us a report. He goes, well, they've been doing this for decades. He goes, we don't need to listen to their crap anymore. He goes, they can just hand it over. We'll investigate it. We don't need them to do this anymore. And I thought, again, I don't know that. I think he's right on this. But there's a lot of stuff because I hear him talking good about Matt Gaetz and some of these like, well, Gates wants to do this and, Tuberville wants it. And these are horrible people. Matt Gaetz was allegedly human trafficking kids. They were putting up like what his Venmo app was saying and shit like that. And he really looks to have gotten away with it. It's just horrible. Oof. But but that was just huge. But I asked him, I'm like, well, hey, can't you just grant some immunity and get your answers with everything that's going on? So we'll see. I don't know that they can. I really don't. But I'm sorry, a law is a law. If they can grant immunity to one law, then they should be able to grant immunity to any law. And I I would find it now. Granted, what I don't want is for like the Republicans to figure out that they can go in and give like Trump immunity for his crimes. But for the most part, I think it would be nice if we could get some answers out of this shit. Okay. But yeah, that would be definitely nice. But yes, I'll do that, and then okay. Give me a sec. But I'm really hoping I can actually do that stream when it's going on because I'm again it could I hope it's not as disappointing as the Geraldo Rivera, Al Capone's vault. And it's going to be dry. I get that. It'll be a little dry. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I will try to talk about it intelligently, and hopefully you will enjoy it. I'm hoping to make it much, much better than Cats. I can't remember what it was, either a Saturday Night Live or a Mad TV skit where something was going on, and it was like all the people acted like they'd been brainwashed about how the play they had seen was much, much better than Cats. Okay, let's go find a bed. I'm pretty sure I'm peaceful, but every now and then I fuck up, so. Oh, another screenshot saved. But yeah, so hopefully that'll be halfway decent. But yeah, they're talking about these V-shaped craft.
Playing from Galaxy Tab A with S Pen.
Okay, now this one here, they're talking about a UFO in Nuremberg, Bavaria, and it was. They gave the year and I didn't catch it, and I don't want to go back for it, but it was a while ago. It was like in medieval or more primitive times than what we got right now. Okay, now this one is Orbs of Light. Western Germany 44. Now this is 44, and what they're doing, and this is something not a lot of people realize. And because they just mentioned that these were things that were seen by both Axis and Allied fighters. Uh, so they were seen by both sides. The Germans thought they were ours, and we thought they were Germans. That's just the way of it. And and they were called Foo Fighters. So that's something you can go look up yourself. You don't have to take my word for that. You can go look it up yourself as to what they were called. Okay. Just to throw this out there, like if you watch the old Battlestar Galactica, not the remake, and a lot of you out there watching, you probably think, oh well, yeah, that's no, it's the one that was made back in the 70s, and there was an episode where they actually showed something real similar to what they're talking about here. And what they're saying now is these things, when these orbs flew, and there's some that think they were, these things are like unmanned craft, that there's nobody in them. Because he's like, well, these things jerk around the way they do. He goes, our understanding of physics, the way we can make stuff, if there was anybody in there flying it, they would be crushed. The G force of zipping around would just kill them. So these things are flying in a way that is not compatible with how we understand the capabilities of stuff like that. I'm gonna get all these picked up. Okay, they got a commercial, but yeah, they're when they come back, it sounds like these orbs have been found in Mexico too. But this is the thing. Some of these sightings, you like that one. It's like, oh, and I really think we might have to rethink that. I really do. But that one guy's like, well, my dad, he said he was, serving in the military, and they did, and it's like, when it's just a couple people, you can write it off more as nut jobs, whether it's true or not. You can do that. But some of these sightings, it's like it's massive amounts of people that are seeing this. Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this. These things are not coming up to the top. Okay, this one don't make any sense. They're supposed to be spaceships. Now they're talking about an obelisk with the Ben stone at the top of it. So I'm just not going to really pay a whole lot of attention to this. Let's go find a bed. I'm gonna go get some pumpkins. Okay, now this is what they're talking about. The one they're talking about now, it's pyramid-shaped craft, and it's the ones I was talking about earlier. I think it might have been the last stream, but they got video of them, and the video is they're triangle shaped. And there was a debunker who I don't really have a lot of respect for, named Mick West, and he was on. I think the proof is out there. And he's just like, oh, well, sometimes when you don't have the camera in focus, and he's British, I can't do the British accent, but sometimes when you sit there and you have the camera out of focus, whatever the shape of the iris is, and it's out of focus, it'll put that over the blurred object, and that's clearly what we have here. Well, he didn't know for sure which camera it was. It seemed like really lazy troubleshooting. He didn't know what camera it was. He didn't know if it had a triangle. And, what if it had a hexagon? What if it had a diamond-shaped one? What if it was a brand new camera that didn't have an iris and everything's in focus? There's some of the cameras now that focuses everything. You don't have it where, because what he's talking about, some of you might not know about this because you've got all the new cameras. But back in the day, some of your cameras, like when I was a kid, they didn't even have autofocus. You had, like, my sister had these big cameras. She took some classes on this, but she had some big cameras where you had to focus the picture. And then I would say it was probably another 5 or 10 years later, maybe even more, they started getting these cameras where they would autofocus. They would absolutely autofocus, so you didn't have to. Well, then what'll happen is it might autofocus on the wrong thing. Like you've got it set and you think it's going to autofocus on what you're taking pictures of. Well, something else will hit that autofocus. So the thing you're actually taking a picture of isn't in focus. And that's what he's talking about. And whether you've manually focused it or if you got an autofocus that's grabbing, and that's something that really happened with those, especially those early autofocus, but all of them could do it because they're not alive. They just, they are what they are. And that's what he was talking about. Well, the problem is you had the Pentagon saying, yes, this is a real photo. The Pentagon admitted this shit was real. And you had a whole bunch of eyewitnesses. 'Cause I believe it was taken. I think it was like near a destroyer. So they had Navy personnel around it, and they had seen this. They had absolutely seen this. So him saying, well, it clearly wasn't a triangle craft. Well, to do that, you have to throw out all the eyewitness testimony because there were all these eyewitnesses who said, yeah, we saw it. We weren't looking at it through a camera. It was clearly a triangle. And I can't remember where the chat was. It might have been YouTube. But I made the comment that I'm like, well, I'm not a camera expert, but I go, when you look at that, the blurred out shit is constant. It's absolutely constant. And if that is what he says it is, because it was moving, it would move from the center to, if it really was being created by the iris is fixed. So as the object it's fucking with is moving around, that distortion should change. And and there were other people who knew a lot more about it than me. They go, yeah, if what he's saying is true, that should be altering as it moves around as that moves around. Hang on. Yeah, this is gonna be fucked up, but it's the way it is. Okay. So yeah, that's the one that's going on now. And that's the thing, it's like I'm really surprised. I am absolutely surprised that Mick West guy has not been hired by the Pentagon to brief Congress. Because like this guy will go even when the Pentagon has said, yeah, this is real. He'll come out and go, oh no no, fucking with the camera. Hey, that's what it is. It clearly isn't anything important. Move along. Nothing to see here. See, this is something they just said. Now they went to a commercial break, but this is something they just said. They go, because some of these ones, it's like there's stories of this shit. Like I said, that one, I can't remember if it was the 1400s or the 1600s, but they went back like 100 years or more, and you had people that were seeing this stuff. Absolutely, and and this he made the comment, well, maybe we're seeing these things come back. I gotta get rid of this shit. Man, I went and got a couple more pumpkins and it's still a fucking piece of bullshit. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this one here, I don't really want to, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about, but he made the comment, like, well, maybe, because a lot of this stuff, there's talk about it from before. So maybe it's things that were here before. And the one thing I will tell you is, I, God, I can't remember if it's Zachariah Stitchin. There's two authors, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but there's two authors, and one of them wrote a book. There is a series of books, but I only read one back when I was in high school. And he basically talked about how there was, and basically he went and translated like old Sumerian text and this other shit. And what his opinion is that there's these creatures that I don't know where all these fucking... I should be about even. There must be some of these that are not coming up. I don't know. And, they speculated that there was a 12th planet. And just to give you some perspective on that, there was a mathematician who, in mathematically, based on what he could see, that's how we found Pluto. There was a scientist who said, "Oh, there's a planet out there. You can see it affecting the other planets." And they hadn't found it. They couldn't see it, but they could see its footprint on the other planets in the solar system. So that's how we got Pluto. Well, then, when I was a kid, I think they could actually see Pluto by then. This guy, it might have been back in the I don't know, it was a while ago, but they physically could not see Pluto. But they realized, well, it's got to be there because we can see the evidence of it. And what happened was when they finally got Pluto and they were able to investigate it enough, what they found out is Pluto wasn't big enough. Pluto could not be the planet that this guy had seen the effect of. That was the view of it. And I made an argument, and he didn't respond, and it didn't really surprise me. But that Neil deGrasse Tyson, I made the comment, I go, okay, well, if this mathematician found the planet based on how it affected everything else, and we called that planet Pluto, and the planet we found as Pluto isn't big enough to do that, well, then clearly wouldn't that be not Pluto? That's the way I envisioned it. It's like, well, the planet he found was called Pluto, and this one isn't big enough to do what he said. So this one isn't Pluto, it's a different planet. But what they've done is this one that mathematically they found from the effects it had, that one there is what they're calling Planet X. And that's the one that they're calling Planet X. And they're still looking for it, and they figure it's got to be pretty fucking big. Well, this guy had, and that's what some are saying. It's like, well, maybe that's the 12th planet that that author envisioned from the old text. And the thing is, he envisioned that this thing would come like every 3,000 years or 30,000 years. So like when this guy's talking about some of the stuff we're seeing now, sounds like things people were seeing back then. And he goes, maybe something's returning. That's what I've been kind of wondering. Because for so long, the government's position has been, nope, nope, see you later, fuck you, go to jail. You know, they just haven't been willing to talk about UFOs. Uh, and now it sounds like some of them are starting to open up. On some level, you gotta wonder is like, do they know? And I've seen these things where they talk about the Vatican. The Vatican is supposed to know stuff because of artifacts, texts that they've found and decoded, things that they're like. You take Fatima. There were three kids that got prophecies allegedly from the Virgin Mother, Mary Magdala. I think it was either Mary Magdala or Jesus' mom, but they got these quotes, predictions of what's going to happen, and the Vatican got them all. And my understanding is there's still one of them they haven't released. They haven't declassified it. So I don't know. I literally don't know. Okay, what I'm going to do, and I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to go back and I want to get another mending book so I can put it on those shears so I don't have to keep redoing it. Okay, now this one here, they're talking about Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. And this was another Roswell one. Again, I don't know if any of it's true. I wasn't there. And I think I was, unlike Roswell, I think I was alive when this one happened. This one happened in the 70s or the 80s, I think. And what happened was, let me see if I can get the date on that. Okay, 1965, so I wasn't born yet. I thought it was later. I honestly did. I'm probably thinking of the Rendlesham Forest one. But this was another one like Roswell where like a whole town saw it. You know, it wasn't like just a couple people here and there. You know, it wasn't like, and again, this one I actually believe, but it wasn't like the Travis Walton one where you had five guys drinking beer out in the woods, you know, after they cut down a whole bunch of trees that day. Um, these guys, you know, like that's what it was. It was like five guys. One guy got abducted and there were four witnesses. There was one abductee and four witnesses. This one here, like a whole town saw it. Shag Harbor's another one. Like some of it, it was seen by the whole town. They saw it. Witnesses up the ass. And this is one. Well, one of the things that they said is when it was found, it was kind of like acorn shaped or bell shaped. And they're going to mention, because I was watching this when I ate. When I was feeding the cats and when I was eating myself, I was watching this. And this is about where I got to before I came in here and decided I'd talk about it while I was streaming. They talked about how there's like Indian text where this is what's described. Like what they saw is described in old Indian texts. And the other thing is, during World War II, there are stories about an advanced program the Nazis had, and it was called, I think, the Glock. It's whatever German or Austrian for the bell is. And this is what, you know, like if you get into the Glock, this is what they're describing. It's the right color, it's the right shape, and they were hang on a sec. It's what they saw, and it was kind of like it was kind of the German version of the Philadelphia Project. They were trying some kind of anti gravity. Again, if the story, I don't know. This is the story, but they were trying some kind of anti gravitic device, and it disappeared. I mean, it just vanished. That's the claim. They had it chained. And they actually have pictures of where they think this thing was tested. They had this thing chained so it couldn't fly away because it was real unstable. And my understanding is this was not something, this was not recovered tech. This was something they were creating. And it just disappeared. While one of the theories that I've heard with this Kecksburg is that propulsion system they were testing actually traveled in time, and this is where it came out at. It came out here. And there's another one that's real similar to this. I don't think the color is right, but it's another one of these egg-shaped or acorn-shaped craft. Well, it landed, and I think that was, and I can't remember the name of that one. If they bring it up later, I'll mention it to you. But I believe that was in Arizona, and it was witnessed by, you know, again, maybe the guy was nuts. Not all cops are smart or emotionally stable, but it was a cop that witnessed this, and he saw two people get out, fuck with it, get back in, and fly away. But you know, this is what they got going on this. Okay, she's talking about it, and it was acorn shaped. It was kind of copper colored at the top, and then as you went down to the bottom, it got darker. And there was like I think she said it was like a 4 inch band that went around the bottom of it, or at least one end of it, and it had like these glowing or discolored things on it. And it just popped into my head, one ring to rule them all, one acorn to rule them all, and in the darkness by. And then they basically, after it landed, and a bunch, it sounds like a bunch of people had seen it. The military, again, this is a lot like Roswell. If the stories are true, the military just crowded in on this and forced everybody out. And they said it was the same thing. They were, I remember this from before, they were there for days threatening and harassing the townsfolk, letting them know that they better be quiet on this, and that's what's going on. And the government basically told them that it was debris from a Russian satellite. Well, the witnesses said, look, it changed direction a couple different times. It didn't come down like a satellite or a meteor. Okay, now they're talking about floating cities. I'm getting kind of lightheaded, and I just need to park it here for a little bit. I gotta let. I'm just gonna cancel. I think they're gonna be. They're basically talking about the ancient cities, and I think they had a picture of what I think is Oumuamua, and that is one that was seen in the last couple years, and I think it's come back now. But it showed up, and according to, hang on, yeah, they're talking about cigar-shaped objects, which is how they get into Oumuamua. This is 1870. Wherever Mount Washington is, they're saying it was like 1870. They actually had a picture. They were doing some surveying or something, and cigar-shaped UFO with blinking lights. Now this has to be more modern day. I just find this. I'm gonna probably finish watching this, but I'm getting lightheaded, so I'm gonna get off of here. Anybody that checks this out either now or later, I really appreciate you. I cannot. It just makes me feel a little less alone when I do these and I see the few people hopped in. I see like when I got on today to upload some of the videos and I saw that there were 7 views or 5 views, even 2 views. I'm not greedy, but it really does mean a lot. You feel just a little less alone with everything going on when you guys get on here. And I do appreciate it. Peace out and I hope everybody has a good day.